So I'm gonna start off by asking you guys some questions, and if you think you know, raise your hand. How many U.S. senators are there? How many years do we elect a senator for? Who are the Kansas senators? All right. So if you could raise your hand for any of those questions, you know more than 75% of high school seniors around the nation. So congratulations. Now, obviously my job now is to persuade you to take the citizenship test, and if not that, at least learn more about your country's civics and how your government works, or pay attention to history class more. So that's my job. You can rely on me. I am a credible source, mainly because I've taken the citizenship test and I passed. So there you go. Not because I had to, I just did it for fun. Also because I've done my research for a little bit. So I'm going to start off by giving you guys some examples of people who don't exactly know what they should know about their country. So I'm going to start off by giving you okay. Before I begin, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about the citizenship test. It's 100 questions, and you must get 60 to pass, so a D minus. It's multiple choice, so it's not multiple choice, my bad. When you get the answer, you have to, whatever you think the answer is, you have to write down the closest explanation. It's not multiple choice because then you could guess and get it wrong. So if you put down that, if you put, so let's say, President Ben Franklin, you fail. But also, it's super easy to pass. So people who actually study for this, they passed. It's not hard to do, so you should see what you get. It's fun. All right, now we're going to move on to Texas Tech University. So the reason why I want to bring this up is because what these people did, they brought up a survey, and they went around the campus asking people some questions, some simple questions about their country's history and civics, and saw what they knew. It was about 10 students, and they asked them simple questions like these, and these were some of their responses, and your discretion is advised. So, who won the Civil War? 1 of the 10 answered correctly. This is a college, guys. Other answers were the South, the Confederates, I don't know, and who was even in it. Also, why are you making me answer this? Next question they asked was, who is our vice president? 1 answered correctly, and they also answered, is this a trick question? And I don't know. When we declared independence, when did we do it? I don't know, and these are horrible questions, and 1970 something. Then they asked them some more current questions, like what show is Snooki on? They all said Jersey Shore. Who was Brad Pitt's first wife? And they all answered Jennifer Aniston. So it shows where our current millennials' priorities lie in education. Next up is George Mason University. And you'd like to think, because George Mason University is in Virginia, it's in the metropolitan area of our nation's capital, you'd like to think you know a little bit more about civics and politics. Apparently not. So they showed a picture of the man Joe Biden. 1 knew who it was, the rest said they either didn't know or thought it was Bill Clinton. When showed a picture of Ronald Reagan, they said it was either Richard Nixon or Bill Clinton. So everyone knows Bill Clinton, because we all know why. So they all answered correctly when shown a picture of Kim Kardashian, which of course they did. So now I want to bring up a little statistic here. American Council of Trustees and Alumni found that 80% of college seniors at the top 50 colleges in the country would have earned a D or F on the citizenship test. The top 50 colleges in the nation, so Harvard, Stanford, MIT, places like that, they wouldn't pass their own country's citizenship test. Which makes some sense, because why would they if they were already born here? But also, what you should know is that America, when it comes to education, we place 17th in the world, which, while it isn't that bad, it's not that good. Besides, we're America. If we don't get first, you might as well get last. It's the American mindset. But the reason why we don't choose history and civics when ranking our own education is because each country's citizenship and government is different. So that's why we don't take that into account. That's why we don't deem it as important when ranking your education. That's why I always focus on math and science and reading. History and civics gets forgotten. Not like this school. This school is actually pretty good. I'm Cork, Green, and Lugano. They're awesome. But the rest of the nation, they don't worry about it, which is a problem. Because then we get schools like the George Mason University, which is a really good school. They don't know who Joe Biden is. And we get places like Texas Tech, who don't know when we want our independence. So this is obviously a problem. Here's some consequences. They say generations are getting done. And that's what's actually happening is that society is moving too fast, and our priorities are in the wrong direction. We tend to forget why things are the way they are in politics and government, obviously, and then we wonder why streets are filled with people who are protesting and knocking down statues. A lot of these people don't know their own country's history. They don't know who to vote for. They haven't actually done their own research. There's a lot of people who don't really know what they're doing. And it's forming an uneducated society on both sides. And I'm not saying you need to get political. I'm just saying pay attention in school. Know your stuff. Because it'll really help out the country. It'll really make people focus on what's important. I don't want to sound like nostalgia is best, but the country's history does kind of lay out a platform for why things are the way they are today. And a lot of people, like people who are 18, like us people in this room, about to be able to vote, a lot of us don't know a lot of the platform as why things are the way they are in our country, which isn't it's not safe. So lastly here, I want to go over the 3 main consequences: ignorance in society, an uninformed generation, which, sorry, that's us, and nothing gets done for the future. Why you should take the citizenship test? 1, you should see what you know. Be better than the rest of society. Like I said, we are the future. We are going to be the generation that makes this country better, so we should start that now. And like I said, it's kind of fun. So, thank you, and hopefully I have persuaded you to pay more attention in school, or especially your government class or history class, and hopefully maybe later on you'll decide to take the citizenship test. It's not hard, you can just do it. So, thank you.